Kia ora everybody. I am just going to talk you through my Mawhai mapping and the way that I have mapped myself out on my Mawhai. You can see that most of the standards I've mapped myself quite low, and that is because I'm very new to the field of autism. And although I have a lot of experience working within an ECE context, I'm pushing myself into the yellow zone and starting to look at primary school contexts. So I'll just talk you through the 6 standards. The first one, Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I'm learning a lot about bicultural responsiveness, and one of the challenges that I have is considering how to approach bicultural responsiveness when most of the teachers, families, and the children that I work alongside aren't Māori and come from different cultural backgrounds. I'm quite confident in te reo and tikanga. I'm still a beginner in my acquisition of te reo, but I definitely have a firm foundational understanding of tikanga and te ao Māori. So this kind of gives me a beginning place to work from. In Standard 2 professional learning, one of my biggest challenges is overcoming my feelings of doubt and my insecurity in my abilities. I'm still feeling really, really new to the world of autism, and I'm still finding lots of information and learning strategies and interventions. So, one of my goals is centered around giving PD and implementing strategies in the classroom. So, this will be a real challenge for me. I'm worried about not having enough information and experience in the field of autism, but I've spoken about this with my mentors, and we've discussed how I probably know a lot more than I think I do. In Standard 3, I've mapped myself quite low in the standard of professional relationships. I'm still learning how to work collaboratively alongside other educators and with whānau. And my real focus in the standard is parent communication, because sometimes I feel, particularly in the education setting, that there's a little bit of an us versus them. Who's to blame? Parents at home or teachers for behaviours of particularly children with autism. And I'd really like to deepen my understanding of how cultural differences could be affecting this, particularly in my own centre's context. Standard 4, I've also mapped myself quite low for learning focused culture, as most of my knowledge is again quite early childhood specific. But I'm looking forward to seeing how a primary school setting encourages inclusivity, and I'm really hoping to learn more about universal design for learning. So hopefully my newfound knowledge on UDL should translate into classroom environment changes that I might make in my centre setting. Standard 5, design for learning, I've actually mapped myself as relatively confident in the design for learning standard because I have quite a good understanding of pedagogy, policy, and assessment. I'm going to push myself and expand my knowledge of policy by exploring tā taiako, as this is something that isn't used in my own centre and goes hand in hand with the bicultural responsiveness as well. And Standard 6, which is teaching, I've mapped myself quite low in this standard, as I'm still yet to learn the kind of practical hands-on skills and strategies and interventions which will assist students with autism in their learning and development. So under this standard, I've set a lot of goals around social stories and Lego therapy, using those as interventions. And hopefully these will translate to some real practical teaching skills that will help me within my own context and working alongside other students with autism. So that's my Mawhai in the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2021. So hopefully I'll be able to gain some knowledge, some skills and experience and underneath these standards through my goal setting, through my practicum. And yeah, looking forward to seeing my growth and development. Thanks for listening.